Hello everyone, this is Dr. Shijun Wang. In today's video, I am going to continue with the F major Mozart Sonata Crucial number 332. This video, I'm going to finish this whole sonata by focusing on the last movement, the third movement. And as many of you may see, I've upgraded my microphone a little bit so that now I can speak right to it, and hopefully the spoken sound is much clearer. And please give me your feedbacks if the audio quality is improved. I mentioned in the previous two videos that the first movement, second movement, one is a tiny mini little opera with many elements in it, different characters, different scenes. And then the second movement is a full da capo aria. So all closely associate with the operatic writing. The last movement, however, is only for the sake of keyboard. These kind of writings are typical keyboard writings in the classical period. First of all, Mozart is not a chord writer. He doesn't write so many full chords like Beethoven does. If we take a look at the first movement, I can't really find many chords with four notes. Only here, when the music gets very intense, then we have these diminished chords, okay, that has four notes. But if we take a look at, let's say, an early sonata by Beethoven, you begin with an F major chord that has 7 notes in it, okay? However, here in the very beginning of the third movement, we start with a full chord, and that is quite unique in Mozart's writing. And also, interestingly, this is in 6/8. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? 3 beats is a whole unit, but this only lasts for 1 to 2 beats. We have to release it early enough so that it's not long. So I think this being full chord and then only 2 beats by a 3-beat unit, it makes it very uplifting. Okay, and also here the right hand, the technical wise, it's quite difficult. One thing we want to avoid, and if I may, to quote the great Jerome Lowenthal, who I studied with in Santa Barbara for 2 months, and he taught at Juilliard for who knows how many years, maybe 30, 40 years. He calls this typewriter types of playing. Everything so even and articulated. However, here we want to have the shaping as well. And how do we achieve that? My suggestion is when we reach the top note, we kind of lift our elbow a little bit. And this way it instantly puts more weight upon the fingers, right? So if this is relaxed, and then it has instantly more weight. Okay, so that we see the curved line in the phrasing. And this following, the same, if we focus on the downbeat, we might sound like, which is not good, but we can do, right? I think the same trick with some other Chopin etudes thing, we have to break away from always considering downbeat as the starting point. So in this case, we start on the second. Okay, And this, of course, repeated. The next four measures repeated. But then here, these three are question marks, okay, and here that's the answer. So we can do a little bit different in timing, especially the last one, and that's a very earnest answer. And here, one very typical style of writing grace notes. And you may ask, why do I play this on the downbeat and such a long grace note instead of that's just stylistically speaking incorrect, because Mozart has a very unique way of showing appoggiatura. Appoggiatura is the dissonant or the non-chord tone on the downbeat. So this is a F major chord, but then we have a G on the downbeat. So we have to stress that a little bit. That's actually another one, but of course he wrote the full 3 beat. In order to show the intensity, in order to show this uncomfortable feeling, we have to stress that a little bit. So it's funny, the little print notes actually, when we play, should be deeper. And here in measure 20, we have 4 in a row syncopation. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And in order to show the syncopation, one has to feel the downbeat. Because when we have the syncopation and then we eliminate the downbeat, then it becomes the downbeat. However, we can't stress it. It would be wrong to have an accent on the left hand downbeat. So we have to just feel it without accenting it. And here, this is clearly this is the first forte Mozart put on. This is so regal, so serious. And in order to play these evenly, or in order to play this with the similar tone, we cannot group them. We have to treat every single eighth note as an individual. And every note I press a little with my forearm. Instead of, right? If we group this together, then it becomes a two-note slur. One has a deep sound, the other has a lighter sound. But to keep the consistency of that, okay? And I always feel the following part is an answer, and then okay, and this ending is so comfortable, it's so content. And he put it Collando. There are 2 layers of meaning. Collando means disappearing in sound, and also it hints that we can do a little of a ritornuto, slowing down. And many people don't do the slowing down part, and some will really have a very obvious retard. I personally like to keep the tempo, but it's really something you can argue, and you can choose either. And here, it's so dramatic because this is a comfortable ending. Almost like your heart is shaking. It's bad news coming. And this in D minor, It reminds me of the last scene in Dang Jewani, that kind of intense feeling, right? So the stone man is dragging you to hell. And here, use arm. And here, very interestingly, when we shape these running notes, the first group, we reach the top on the second note. But however, the next group, we reach the end, the top end, the peak on the third. So within these constant running notes, we have a variety of phrasing. And here, there is no hint, there is no transition. We fall into this depressing minor section from a happy moment. So when we talk about dramatic, when we talk about changing mood, I really felt that Mozart has probably more dramatic writing than Chopin. Um, Chopin, the feeling is intense, it's more personal, but then you don't change in such a unprepared way so many times so frequently. Okay, and here it's a 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, right? We have 4 phrases of 2 measures, and we always feel that the third one and the fourth one is connected as a whole. You can see very clearly the ending of second measure or fourth measure, you have a rest. So that's almost like it's evident of breathing, right? You have to break the phrase a little bit. And then a new one. Now take a longer breath because you have no break until 4 measures later. So make sure the third and fourth phrasing is connected as a whole. And as sudden as how we change to minor, suddenly we change to major. And here, almost like the victorious horn playing. Here, show the left hand phrasing a little more. Very happy, very proud. For the ending, since this part repeated twice, for the ending, right hand, the right hand, while we do, we also have to consider the harmonic foundation downstairs, the right? We have, of course, similar writing as the first chord. It's not 3 beats, it's not, but we have to lift a little bit earlier. Same here. However, this is a classic example. Dominant 7, resolution. Dominant 7, resolve. So we can't play them the exactly the same, but more, less, more. Here, in order to keep the same tone, we have to play each note with a new gesture and then press with forearm. A little more instead of that. If the fingers are connected, then that creates unevenness. Okay, and always not to stay long but short. And that shortness gives us a uplifting feeling. Okay, instead of a settlement, right? It doesn't settle, it goes forward. I hope you've learned something from this series, and of course, by 3 videos, it's nothing near the completion of explaining Mozart's style and technique. But I hope this can help you to have a new perspective in examining or in learning these wonderful pieces. Next week, I will move on to a new sonata by Haydn, the E flat. And that's the last sonata by Haydn. It's probably one of the hardest, but however, one of the most well-written Haydn sonatas. And for your information, this is many years ago when I auditioned for Juilliard. I saw the requirement. I don't know if that's still true. You can only play Beethoven sonata and the last sonata by Haydn and the last sonata by Mozart. So I guess the Juilliard faculty consider that E flat major sonata the same difficult level as Beethoven, or the same can show same abilities as any of the Beethoven sonatas. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed the channel, please subscribe and then click the bell so that you'll be notified when I upload my next episode. Thank you for watching. See you next.